Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Oligas. In this edition, we take an in-depth look at the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center, now under construction on the Missouri Southern State University campus. We'll get a construction report, learn its role in the Lions Forward campaign, and talk with health faculty about what will be offered in the new building and its potential impact on students. We will begin our conversation with MSSU President Dr. Dean Van Galen and Executive Vice President Dr. Brad Hodson. Thank you both for being with us today.
It's great to be with you, Lisa. Thank you.
This is a big project for the university. It is named and dedicated for Senator Roy Blunt. So share with us the history of that and with the project and that resulted in the dedication.
The vision for the Health Science Innovation Center really began in December of 2021 when Governor Parson asked all the four-year campuses to propose a transformational project, something that would really impact the campus as well as the community. And so we developed this idea for a Health Science Innovation Center, really building on some of our university's strengths, but more so the workforce needs and the entire region of Joplin and its great strengths in healthcare and health science. That was funded initially for $15 million by the state of Missouri. The state has continued to support it. We've been challenged to raise some money for the project, but we're thrilled that this will literally transform the face of our campus, both in terms of teaching and learning in the health and life sciences, and then also the piece of the building that is the Welcome Center and Admission Center. There's conference room space, there are ballrooms. This will be the new front door of Missouri Southern. So it's been a great journey already.
Yeah, very exciting. So Dr. Hodson, a big section of the Oval is closed off now for construction. Explain how the building will take shape. Give us a little progress report as we see a lot of earth moving going on.
Well, that is the site prep phase, as you might imagine, getting ready for the construction to actually begin later this summer. They're out there leveling the ground and preparing for the drilling of 75 piers, which will support the building. We are in a part of the county that was heavily mined at the turn of the last century, and so we want to make sure the building is well supported. But that site prep that you see going on today will lead directly into full construction. We expect to see steel and concrete coming out of the ground this fall.
So how long will it be under construction, and what is our timeline overall as to, hey, we're going to open the doors?
So it's a 2-year construction window. We plan to open the doors for the incoming students fall of 2026.
That's exciting. Dr. Van Galen, share with us the various aspects of the center. So what will be included in the construction? You mentioned the new Welcome Center, but this expands what we are able to offer.
Absolutely, and part of it is to enable us to expand our health science programs and really set ourselves apart. This will provide unparalleled opportunities for learning in health and life science. If you look at the building itself, there are two pieces of it that are connected, if you want to think about it that way. The major portion of the building is for the health and life sciences. It includes a simulation hospital, anatomy physiology labs, a new cadaver lab, a lot of teaching and learning spaces, very few faculty offices. It is a hands-on learning facility. The other side of the building is the Welcome Center, and so admissions will move there. When prospective students and many communities members come to our campus, this is where they will enter Missouri Southern. In between those two pieces will be a 2-story, very kind of light and open atrium that opens from the parking lot side all the way onto the Oval. And so there'll be space there for student events. It will complete the Oval, is one way to look at it, and really build a much more, I think, intimate and vibrant campus here at Missouri Southern.
So you mentioned the community. How does this impact the community at large and the offerings of the university, and does this become then a good for recruiting?
I think it'll play a critical role in recruiting, certainly for health and life science students as we look to expand our programs. We're planning to expand our nursing program, work with our community healthcare systems to address their needs. But I think the broader impact is on student recruitment in general. So when a student, their family comes to Missouri Southern for the first time, they will enter into this building. They'll be welcomed in this magnificent structure in the Welcome Center. And I think it will be a great first impression for prospective students.
Well, people coming to a campus want to know that they can be results driven. You know, they want to know that, oh, if I come here for a degree, I can maybe get a job that's right out the door. And that seems to be happening if you think, oh, there's a simulation hospital right here that's going to really train me for working in one of our 2 local hospitals. Do you see that being a good cohesive thing with working with the hospitals in town, Dr. Hodson?
We certainly have worked very closely with the hospitals, not only on this facility, but also in placement of our graduates. And we do see the simulation hospital playing a role in hopefully allowing us to increase the number of nursing graduates from Missouri Southern. There is a large workforce need, and we want to play a leadership role in filling that need.
So this is one of the pillars of the Lions Forward campaign. Give us the background of some of the major donations for this event. I know it all kicked off with the big generous donation from the Wilcoxons. What have we seen since, and where are we now?
I'll start with a few comments, and then Dr. Hodson. The Lions Forward campaign is our university's first major fundraising campaign in many years. It has 7 elements, 7 pillars, and the Health Science Innovation Center is one of them. And so we've seen some tremendous leadership gifts in the campaign in general, but also for the Health Science Innovation Center. I'll just pick up on one and then hand it to Dr. Hodson. The Wilcoxons, as you mentioned, made a $1 million gift. Most of that to support the construction of this building, but also for the Health Science Summit, which we launched last year, and then also to support student and faculty research with the Wilcoxon Scholars. So we've seen the community and the city of Joplin and Jasper County step up in a great way to help us with this project.
Well, we were challenged by Governor Parson to come up with $15 million in funding to match the initial appropriation of $15 million, and we've been very successful in that regard. We have met that $15 million match requirement, but the needs of the facility extend beyond that, and so we're still raising money. That came from not only philanthropic sources, but governmental partners, contractual partners. It was really a collaborative effort to reach that match threshold.
I mean, this could be a benefit for the whole community. It is now a public-facing campaign. How can members of the community take part in supporting the health center or other aspects of the Lions Forward campaign?
Well, I think Dr. Van Galen alluded to the 7 priorities. I think they do bear mentioning: student scholarships, academic excellence, immersive learning, intercollegiate athletics, the Student Success Center, the Billingsley Student Center, Activity Center, and then the Health Science Innovation Center. All 7 of those are still open for funding. We would welcome individuals that have an interest in supporting our students, our faculty, and our programs to contact the development office. We'd be happy to visit with them.
Yeah, I mean, it does make a difference. This could actually impact a lot of different businesses. We have so many healthcare related businesses in the community. Do you feel like Southern, it ties us more to the community by having this center?
I think it definitely does. You know, the leading employers of Missouri Southern graduates include Freeman and Mercy. We have the most health and life science programs among public universities in the state of Missouri.
Wow.
More than Mizzou and others. So it's a strength, and we are very intentionally working with our partners in the community, including KCU, to further develop health and life science as a major economic driver and an area of distinctiveness, not just for Missouri Southern, but for the entire region.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing all this information. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk with faculty about the benefits of the hands-on learning opportunities. But first, a quick look back at the kickoff event for the Lions Forward public campaign.
This campaign is ambitious. It's bold. It's very aspirational. Your input has led to the establishment of 7 campaign priorities. 7 projects that will be completed because of you and your support of Lions Forward. So we're going to raise $42.7 million.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where our focus is the new Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center under construction now. It will include a simulation hospital to offer even more immersive learning opportunities for students. Joining us to talk about those benefits are Dr. Crystal Lemons, Dean of the College of Health, Life Sciences, and Education, Dr. Lisa Beals, the Nursing Department Chair, and Dr. Sherry Whiteman, Graduate Program Director for Healthcare Administration and Department Chair of Allied Health. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
This is an exciting time. So you all will play a role in preparing our future doctors and nurses. Dr. Lemons, you'll be overseeing this operation as Dean. Congratulations on that position. I'd like to begin with you. How is this a game changer in our world of healthcare education?
So I think there are several components to this new center. And one that I really like is the simulation hospital, which I think Dr. Beals would probably speak more to. But one of the things that I think is incredibly helpful to our students is bringing all of our health sciences students with different majors together with some of our anatomy and physiology students in our cadaver labs and putting them under one building. And I think one of the benefits with that is that we can actually utilize the cadaver lab to a greater degree. For example, if we have respiratory therapy students that are studying and learning about diseases like emphysema, and we have a cadaver that is showing that pathology, we are better suited to bring all of those groups together and really be able to show the true pathology, what it looks like beyond a textbook or beyond a virtual simulation. I think things like that are just critical to promote our learning.
Kind of cross collaboration. We're going to be talking a little later with Dr. Alaberry about the cadaver lab. I know she's super excited about it. You also teach complex classes. How will the center make those classes even more impactful when you have it all in that space?
So one of the things that we see when we're able to bring together our anatomy and physiology labs along with our cadaver labs and all of the other spaces that we have, one is that we're going to have program growth. So for example, we can increase our number of student stations within the labs, so we're planning for growth for that. We also, and I think this is really a critical thing for the future as well, is that we've planned for research spaces, which we historically have not really had on our campus. And so for future program growth and to lend itself to that, I think will be phenomenal for our students.
You read my mind. I was going to ask about research. But let's talk with Dr. Beals. We often hear how important hands-on experience is. So what excites you most about the Health Science Center and the Simulation Hospital?
I think the simulation hospital excites me the most. That's my area of expertise is simulation, and it's going to afford some wonderful opportunities for students to prepare to be quality graduates. And to tag of what Dr. Lemon says, it enhances that ability for interprofessional type learning, which we teach students to apply what they're learning in a practice. So I think that's the most exciting thing to me, and also it helps the community because students we're teaching students with the most up-to-date teaching methodologies, and they are able to experience the clinical world in a unique setting where we can stop time, as opposed to the clinical setting where we're taking care of patients. Time doesn't stop. So we can stop time and really focus in on what they're learning.
You mentioned that at the Wilcoxon event, and I was going to ask you, you said it stopped the clock. Why is that so helpful? I mean, if they were working at the hospital, doing rotations, they're watching somebody else, and they're kind of more of an observer, but this lets them be in on the action that way?
Yeah, so that's a great point. And with our nursing students, I can't speak for allied health, I can probably guess, but they are actively taking care of patients. They're not just observing. So in our curriculum, they're immersed in the clinical site taking care of patients. So that's what I mean by that. We can't stop what we're doing and focus in on the learning, as opposed to if we're in a simulation hospital, we do have the opportunity to do that. We can stop the clock, look at what's going on, the pathophysiology, the nursing care, the work with other disciplines, and really, hone in on any barriers or challenges, or giving kudos, great job. So
you can even say, hey, this was probably a misstep. Let's go back and do it the right way.
Exactly. Let's think about what we're doing, and really try to think about, okay, what have we talked about in the classroom, and let's bring these two worlds together, classroom and clinical.
Excellent. Dr. Whiteman, what do you see as the greatest benefit of the new Health Science Education Center?
I mean, really, it's everything that Dr. Lemons and Dr. Beals have talked about. You know, it's bringing everybody together under one roof to do the high-tech learning that we know is so valuable to healthcare education. And so I think we're going to have some of the best prepared students coming out of this college to take care of those around us, and I think that's important.
We've had some technology. I mean, we've had x-ray machines. What difference, I mean, are there some new tools that will come with the new simulation hospital? They're like, oh, I'm so glad we get this toy. Or not really toy, they're actual real world tools, but what makes this setting better?
Yeah, so it's going to be things like an expanded virtual reality room where we have some space now, but this is more than triple that size. And so our students can do virtual reality simulation where they're practicing scenarios as if they're real. We're going to add a CAT scan to the mix. And so we'll have a real CAT scan that students can learn on for clinical, but also that we're going to be able to use for the cadaver labs to CAT scan the cadavers. We're adding mobile x-ray units and more x-ray rooms so that the radiology students and any of the other students will have more access to that type of learning space. We're adding all kinds of different hospital type rooms. Every type you might encounter in the hospital, we will have one of those rooms at least in our space so that the students can, again, get that, you know, stop time space to be in a room they might not get access to when they're at clinical. So an example might be labor and delivery, or the NICU and the PICU where they take care of the really sick infants and children. A lot of times in those spaces you might just get to observe, but here we will be able to facilitate hands-on for certain for our students.
That's pretty exciting. All people, we all assume that this will only be for pre-med and nursing students, but how can the center benefit students from maybe other areas of study?
Well, we are trying to bring everybody together under one roof, and so radiology students will be using the radiology spaces. Respiratory therapy students can use all of the spaces alongside nursing. So we're all in the acute care room, the NICU, the PICU, the pre-op and post-op spaces. We've even talked about bringing over healthcare administration and kinesiology to use some of the spaces because we have some exam rooms that could be very beneficial for kinesiology, and we might have cameras in the halls where healthcare administration could even feel like they're part of the space as well and doing what they do in a simulated space, which is new. It's not something we currently do.
Important information. We appreciate your insights. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we talk with Dr. Alaberry about the expansion of the cadaver lab with the new Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center.
Our patients are teaching us. We get to learn so much from coming here.
They're so selfless. Their act of donating their body is so selfless. We want to really showcase that by treating them with respect.
The first time I set foot in this cadaver lab was actually while I was still in high school. I was here on a track visit and they brought me into this lab, and that's a huge reason why I'm at this school right now, was this opportunity.
You know, I know of other schools where their undergraduate students get to see the prosected cadavers, but you just learn it so much better whenever you're the one finding all these structures.
I've talked to other friends that have gone to different schools that I went to high school with, and they've taken anatomy and they don't have this opportunity, and they learn out of a book. And I realized how grateful I am to have this experience, because it's not just about learning anatomy, it's about the experience of actually dissecting and figuring out the anatomy for yourself and not only through a textbook.
It's more than textbooks. I mean, you learn a lot in textbooks throughout all your courses, and once you get here, it's really just putting them all together. It ties every subject that you've taken thus far, and it really helps you understand, because you've known, you've memorized, and you've learned a lot of stuff from other classes, but being here and dissecting and really going through the process, it helps you connect everything and truly understand it, opposed to just knowing it.
We're back with our in-depth look at the new Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center under construction. It will include an area for an expanded cadaver lab. Joining us to talk about that is Dr. Olive Berry, Professor of Biology and Environmental Health, a Doctor of Medicine teaching anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, advanced human dissection, and neuroanatomy. Wow. Welcome, Dr. Berry.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for your introduction. Yeah.
You've expressed great excitement over the new health center.
Yeah.
How will this be different than the lab we already have, which is a very unique offering to have a cadaver lab at a university?
Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you for your question. And before I answer your question, I want to share with you two facts that unfortunately are not very well known. So first of all, in 2015, CDC announced that over 250,000 patients died due to the mistakes made by physicians. So at this point, medical educators, medical healthcare providers, they started to investigate what could actually potentially cause so many mistakes. And multiple causes were named, such as exhaustion, lack of experience, faulty communication, lack of observation skills. And one of these causes was named as a lack of the knowledge, particularly anatomical knowledge. So now, fact number two. So let's look at the trend with anatomical education in medical schools. So over the last several decades, the number of hours students spent in learning anatomy in medical schools significantly reduced. In 1999, the number of hours average medical schools were spending more than 300 hours teaching anatomy. However, in 2020, it was reported that average number of hours that medical students spent learning anatomy was down to 160.
Why the reduction? Well, I mean, is it access? I mean, and that's what we can provide?
It's actually, no, you know, the reduction of the anatomical hours is consistent with change in the medical school curriculum. There is so much information that medical student has to learn. I graduated 40 years ago, and once again, the amount of information that medical students have to go through increases every single year. So once again, the amount of information that medical students have to process over the 4-year period is increased. So that's why we have to actually reduce the number of hours somewhere. And anatomy is one of them. So unfortunately, it's not just the trend. What we also see in medical schools, that the number of hours that medical students spend dissecting cadavers also significantly reduced. And we also, especially after COVID, we see shift toward virtual anatomy. Do you want your physician to learn your anatomy based on the virtual anatomy table?
No, but I do know that we do have the anatomage tables, which is a little bit different.
It is a great opportunity. It's going to be the great learning experience for our students. However, I want to compare the virtual anatomy versus cadaveric anatomy. It is the same as learning alphabet before reading a book or writing an essay. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
So the cadaver experience, cadaver dissection, is the highest level of understanding and learning anatomy. And virtual anatomy is one of the steps toward this understanding.
And we have a cadaver lab, which is excellent, that we can already offer that to our students. But we hear practice makes perfect, and that can be difficult when dealing with human beings. So medical errors and accidents, that's called iatrogenic harm. So you've talked about this. Talk to us about what we can offer and why this will help. I mean, are we going to be able to increase their hours or just incorporate it?
So I'm going to give you just a little bit history of what we have right now, and then you will be able to understand why we do need a new cadaver lab with expanded cadaver lab that will provide us much better safety, and it will make environment for the students and faculty safe to study and work. So right now, so cadaver lab was installed on our campus in 2011, and back then we only had 2 cadavers. Now we have 8 cadavers. The expansion in 2016 was demanded by popularity of the dissection courses and popularity of any anatomy courses at MSSU. So right now we have 8 cadavers. So we can offer dissection class twice a year, spring and fall. At the very beginning in 2011, we were able only to offer cadaver dissection course only once a year because we had limited amount of whole body donors. So now we have 4 cadavers that we dissect, and they're moved after the dissection. We prepare them pro-section, it means already dissected, to use in human anatomy, anatomy and physiology, 2 classes. So we only can accept up to 16 students in our dissection course, up to 16, not more than that. Right. 4 students per whole body donor. It gives really great opportunity for our students to experience dissection of every single region, of every single structure. So we don't want to expand the number of the dissectors up to 6. 4 is the optimal number.
So will that be able to be expanded when we get the bigger
Absolutely,
cadaver lab?
absolutely. That's
more students.
We're going to have more students. And this year, we accepted 25 students in our MKEEP program, which is Missouri Southern Kansas City Early Acceptance. 25 students will be ready to take the dissection course in 2 years from today. So we need to provide them this opportunity. Also, we're going to have dental. We have a similar dental MKEEP program that we can accept up to 10 students. All of the students willing to take dissection course before matriculation into medical school. And I'm not counting our biology major students who also want to take this course. So cadaver lab, with the number of cadavers that we have currently, will not be able to accommodate to the growth popularity not just of the dissection lab, MKEEP program as well.
Yeah. So this new center is going to be great for you to expand the number of students, and then they're better prepared.
And they will be better prepared for medical schools. And you know, we're scientists. We just don't like to talk. We need facts. We need numbers. So we evaluated the effectiveness of our course, and the evaluation showed that our students highly appreciate this experience, and their performance in human anatomy courses increase, the grades increase. But it's not just the anatomy course. It also, our students that we surveyed, they emphasized it created great foundation for them to succeed in medical school. So it's not just anatomy. It's about their career path. It's about being accepted in better residencies and becoming anatomy fellows, anatomy assistants in medical schools. They share their knowledge that they gain through their undergraduate career.
Right, they have experience and a confidence level.
Absolutely.
To utilize it elsewhere.
Absolutely. And our students that we asked to evaluate the course, they said absolutely they want to recommend to take this class for every single pre-medical major or any pre-professional major, because it does benefit their performance and success in medical schools.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Aldebar, for sharing all that information with us, and we look forward to all the excitement and expansion in the health center.
Thank you for inviting me.
And the Roy Blunt Health Innovation Center is slated to open in 2026. Thanks to all our guests, and thank you for watching Newsmakers.